Yeah, so here I am. It's, wait, where am I? It's somewhere in September, maybe the 11th, maybe the 12th, maybe something like that. A little bit foggy and rainy out here today. The van is looking good. The BMW runs fine now. Now I'm going to go back onto this for a little while, the 1979 Porsche. Now, last time I left you on a little bit of a cliffhanger and I had a screwdriver hanging in there. Now there's all sorts of junk all over the place that I have to clean up. But I had some footage from last year that I hadn't ever shown you. So what I'll do is I'll just put that together as a little bit of an intro back into the Porsche 924, 1979 Porsche 924, and then I'm going to take it over in the other shop and put it on the lift and see what's, like, it doesn't have brakes, right? So I'll get the brakes running and things like that that make it roadworthy, sort of. And there's a little bit, like, this thing here is all bent up, so I'll take that off and see if I can straighten it out and make it look a bit better. There's a bend, like a dent in it here. I'm pretty sure I can pound that out because you can get to it from inside there. And, you know, that'll make things, start making it look good, and maybe ever get it on the road here one of these days. So, anyhow, here you are. Welcome back to the grind, and we'll see if we can make something happen with this Porsche. Now, up to date, I've done, like, the door was hanging off a long time ago. The door was hanging off. There's only one hinge holding it, and the motor wouldn't run. So up to date, I've got the door back on and the motor's running. The motor runs pretty nice, or it did last year. And so I still have to do, on the motor, I need to do a new timing belt. And I think I have a new idler pulley for it also. That will help things out. Then I've got a new air filter and stuff like that. I'll get it stuck into it and perhaps do an oil change before I get any too farther onto it. Then get it on the lift and see what happens. Well, I'll get it on the lift before I do an oil change, right? It'd be easier there. Anyhow, that's where I'm going from. So enjoy this little bit. It's only a short one, so enjoy it, and I'll see you later. Yeah, so even better news today. It starts right up, and when you hit the throttle, it does throttle. That's quite good. So then what I did was I found out that there's an Allen key, right? Pretty long one. And you can get it down into here. The little hole right here, and that's where you control the mixture. So I had, if you back it off a bit here, round about there is, you know, it sounds good, so I'm going to let it be. So if I turn it counterclockwise, it becomes more rich, it becomes leaner counterclockwise, and richer as I turn clockwise. So too much clockwise and it gets black smoke out the back, right? In this case here, there's pretty clean smoke out the back. And the other way around, it gets too lean and it'll stall. So it seems to be running fairly nice right there. I don't know what's rattling around in here, but it's likely the all that stuff there. I'll find out one of these days, but I'm just sort of happy that it runs. Now that's all running from a cold start. I'm gonna let it warm up and see if it'll start from a warm start, because I think that this down in here, right down there, there's a solenoid that's likely suspect. Anyway, that's good news. It runs nice when it gets running. Boy, oh boy. Likely I didn't have to change all the parts, but likely it didn't hurt to change them anyhow, because it sounds pretty good now, and I'm pretty sure it'll run all right. I'll let it, I'll do an oil change on it here before I get too far into running it too much. And then it needs a whole bunch of work underneath here, but I'll wait until the lift is available before I do that. Needs to get some interior work done on it, and that'll get done. Everything will get done eventually. Like, it's sounding pretty good now. The fuel pump is still making a pile of noise. And I think that's because I left those little plastic things on the outside of it, but I'll see what'll happen if I take those plastic things off of it. But it just runs like a top now. So there you are, good news from the Porsche. Now, and the boat runs well. I had that started up yesterday. Now I just got to get the BMW to run again. Oh, everything takes time. Yeah, there, it's warmed up now. I'll just see if it'll start again when it's warmed up. What happens? Hey, let's see what happens here. Oh, it starts right up. Yeah, just running like a top now. Boy, that was a hard nut to solve, this whole thing. So one of these days now, I won't do it today, but soon I'll change the, whatever you call that thing right there, timing belt. Have a new one over there. Got an air filter for it. That one there is looking pretty sad. And got a new oil filter for it, so I'll do an oil change on it. Don't have oil around today to do that with, so that's okay. Now, next, I think I'm going back on the Volkswagen van. That's a good day today. A good day today. Huh. All of a sudden it just works. Yeah, so something I did while I was off camera, and I forgot to film it, was in behind here. This is the fuel, whatever you call that, distribution system right here. And in behind that bolt right there, am I looking in the right place? Where the hell am I looking here? Yeah, so in behind that bolt right there is a spring, and that's the fuel pressure release valve, and it allows pressure to go, and then it releases fuel. If there's overpressure, releases fuel and heads back to the tank. And it's supposed to do that. So when the car is running and it's only got the right amount of pressure up here to crack the injectors, then all the other fuel that the pump sends along and everything is in there, pressured up, goes right back to the tank, and it comes through this fuel pressure regulator. Now, I think that I didn't have enough pressure in the system, and I went they talk about shims inside here, and when I took it apart, there were no shims, so I built some shims, and the shims they talk about are 5 millimeters, or 0.00. Oh, wait a sec, I'll find out. Yeah, here. So the shims they talk about in there are like that, 0.5 millimeters thick for the thick one, and then they have 0.1 millimeter for what they call a thin shim. A thin shim? A thin shim. That's not. Yeah, is that thing recording? Yeah, there we go. So, don't know what was going on. So the thin shims they talk about here are about like 0.5 millimeter, or smaller than that in the inches department. Hang on, I'll get the little thing out here. Oh boy, trying to get these things out again. Okay, here. So here's one here. This one here. Where am I? Way down here. Up, up, up. Look up. There. This one here is 0.6 millimeters, so I want 0.5, right? There's 0.5 millimeters there, or 0.20 inches. And the other one they talk about is 0.1 millimeters, so, or 0.05, 0.1, or 0.04 inches. So I found some washers inside the other shop there that were 0.5 millimeters, and then I had to just grind them down so they fit inside there as a shim. So I put in, right now there's 4.5 millimeter shims in there. That might be a little bit too much pressure, but I'll run it for a while and just see how it likes it. For now, I think the spring was a little bit wore out, and then there's a little, what do you call that, O-ring at the end of the shaft that goes in there, the plunger that goes in there is a little O-ring at the end of it. And it didn't come, like the rebuild kit didn't have one of those with it, so it's the original one in there, and maybe suspect, but anyhow, a little bit extra pressure from everything. That seems to have helped it. Number two was setting the richness on here, like that thing for setting the richness. The richness seemed to help it, and the way I discovered that was just by, I had this off and I put a screwdriver in there to lift this bellows, like the bellows thing, a little tiny bit, and that made it so it would start and run without this on here. Then I put this on, the air thing here. I put that back on so that it was all connected together, and let it cool off. And don't you know, today it came out and it just started and ran. And then I adjusted this richness thing to the proper level. Also adjusted a little bit on that right over there. This is the idle screw right here. Adjusted that a little bit, and also adjusted the angle of the distributor a tiny bit so it sounded right. Now one of these days I'll get a timing gun, and I had a timing gun around somewhere, but one of these days I'll get a timing gun and see if I can time it properly, you know, the way that it's supposed to be. But I'll do that after I put on the new belt on this thing here, which is the timing belt, camshaft timing belt. Anyway, that's all for this car today. I'll go over and do some work on the Volkswagen, I think. Yeah, here's the battery for the Porsche, right? And I've been charging up this thing out of the Triumph there, and it seems to have taken a charge. I'm going to leave it for a day now and see if it loses its charge. See what happens. There, now I'll see if I can manhandle it over here. Hang on till I'll set you up somewhere where you can see what's going on. Maybe right about here. You get to look at my ugly mug, hey? As long as the camera doesn't fall down, it'll be all right there. Okay. Famous last words, eh? As long as the camera doesn't fall down, it'll be all right there. Yeah, so there I just moved it over. So it'll be easier to get it off the jack stands, get it off those rolly things, and make it so that I might be able to drive it over to the other side. I've checked the air on the other side, I'll check the air on this side. Yeah, here's Buster's with me. Now, what was I going to say about this? So, I've got everything hooked up again, batteries in it. This is it's got a ballast resistor that I presume goes on the circuit to the coil over there. All these connections are pretty poor. This was pulled out, so I put that back in. Used to be something there, don't know what it was. Who knows, eh? Anyway, hopefully it'll light up and run. We'll just wait and see. I did get the air filter into it. I figured that's a good idea to put that in. And if I get it to start and move, I'll put it on the lift over here. I'll pull the hovercraft out for a little while and put it over here. Anyway, so there we go. That's all I know for now. Oh yeah, now I remember. So last July, so 1 year ago, July, so a year and a month ago or two, then is the last video I posted on this thing. So that's quite a while ago. I thought I'd be back at it a little bit sooner than now, but you know, life does do its things. So I'm going to roll it out and, oh, lights are on. Don't know what's going on there. Maybe I'll check into that. See if any lights are on up front here. No, no lights on up front, but one light on in the back. I'll see if I can get that turned off because I'm pretty sure it's not. Well, it's a switch here somewhere, right? Who knows where. Alright. They all come on. Even the dash lights work. Anyway, I'll find out what's going on with that light. Looks like a brake light. I don't know. Could be a brake light because I'm pretty sure the brake pedal is down. Yeah, the brake pedal's way down there. Yeah, it's got a clutch and it's got a brake pedal, but oh well. I don't know. I'll find out what's going on with that. Still on, so. Huh, interesting. Well, I'll give it a spin and see what happens. I think I stole some fuses out of here. Something, I don't know what. So how do you like that? It starts right up. That's been sitting for a year. Can't complain about that, I guess. Lots of stuff rattling around there. So I'll see if I can move it out of here. I'm pretty sure there's no brakes. Yeah, too many things in my hand. Hang on. There now, how do you like that? So I'm going to take the, Willie's on his way out, he's going to hook up his trailer, but I'm going to take the, whatever you call that, the power washer to it and wash it off before I put it in the other shop. But for now, that's pretty good. I'll leave it there. I'm going to shut it off for a while, let it sit. Yeah, here we go. See if I can get this thing to run. I think it's set to go. See if it takes some of the dirt off it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's got most of the dust off it, so that's a good start. I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll pull out the whatever you call that thing. I'll pull out the hovercraft, which is sort of red. It's liable to be red by the end of it too. You never know. Yeah, red car city. Anyhow, light's still on. So I don't know what that's coming from, but we'll figure it out eventually. Then I'm quite happy that the motor started right up after sitting for a year. And I'll get it on the lift. I'll show you what's up underneath, and then I'll cut this off there. Okay?
Yeah, let's see what happens here now.
I really didn't plan on running into the camera, but I guess that happens when you don't have any brakes. Anyhow, there it is, pretty close to being in the right spot. We'll just see about getting it up and maybe we'll fix brakes. Yeah, it's not easy to get yourself folded into here. Like the gear shifts work, but you have to sort of, they are very, very loose here, so there's something going on with that. I did find reverse. Reverse is over there. Well, first is down here. That's why I couldn't find first. Then second is up here. Third. Fourth. Oh yeah, once you get used to it, it's all right. They positively, am I showing you that? I'm not. Isn't it terrible when somebody tried to show you something? Reverse, you kind of push it that way, and oh, and they got reversed there. Then straight back is first for number 1. Number 2 seems to go in there all right. 3 back here. 4, 5. So they all, it's okay, they all work, except they do take a little bit of finagling to get them in. And the clutch feels fine. So there is a light on the back there. I don't know why, but I won't. I'll just unhook the battery for a while here, and that'll be fine. And I did get a new, like in the bag, in that baggie there, there's a new clamp for the hood to make the hood go up and down. So here, I get out of here. That's a job getting in and out of here. Okay. All right, so now I'll get it up on the lift. First I'll open the hood. I'll undo the battery so that it's not, that'll turn off the light at the back. And then we'll go from there. Yeah, there, it's on the lift. Now, one thing good to do when you put something on a lift is just check and see if the door is still open and closed, hey? Same. Same, yeah, so it's good. I don't know whether there's fiberglass down there or metal, but I guess I'll find out. I'll get a magnet and check it out. Anyway, up she goes. We'll see. Pull the door down a bit so I don't smash into it. That's likely. One more clip. Right there. Okay. There it is underneath. Hey? And it's solid underneath. Everything's solid there. That's the jacking point. That's a jacking point. This one here, that's come free. I don't know whether it's just a bolt come out of there. It looks like there's just a bolt come out of it right here. Cool. That one there doesn't move as easily. Well, there's no brakes in it, eh? So I got to figure that out. That one moves pretty easy. That looks good. This looks okay. Shock absorbers look okay. That's the something to do with the fuel system. There's the fuel pump here. I'll see if I can stop that thing from here. You can hear it rattling just like that, eh? Shock absorber looks okay. There's a fuel line that I fixed up there. Might take another look at that. That seems to be all right. Brake lines I don't think there's anything wrong with that brake line. That rubber line's okay. It might need new rubber lines because the rubber lines get yucky, hey? Might be just the master cylinder done in, because all the brake lines look like there's nothing wrong with them so far. Whoops. That's just noisy. You know, it all looks pretty good underneath here. That's a little bit loose, right? Whatever that is, that's the air pump. Or is that the alternator? That's the alternator. So that could take tightening. This would be the air conditioner pump, right? Up there is power steering, but there's no belt on it. That could have something to do with the brakes too, because power steering makes the brakes work on these things, I think. Anyway, there's the motor, right? And there's the bell housing, and the clutch is in here. Then there's this big long drive shaft. And then the transmission and everything to go along with the transmission. Transmission and transax, well, I'll call it a transaxle's back here. And the gas tank's up high out of the way. Huh. So it's all in reasonably good shape. In fact, it's all in exceptionally good shape. Might likely need wheel bearings. Don't know if it needs wheel bearings in the back because they feel pretty solid. But up front it likely does. That one there's. That needs a wheel bearing. You can feel it. Check this front one here. Well, that feels good. Nothing wrong there. This one here, like, the tire's a bit bald right there. I think the wheel bearing's gone on this side, or it needs tightening. We'll take them apart and see. So far, so good. Well, let me get a magnet. Hang on, I'll come back. Don't know what happened there, but it stopped. Anyhow, it looks pretty good underneath here. I'll see if I can. One thing I was going to do while I was down here was trying to hook up the last clippy thing on the air filter, which I couldn't reach from above very well. Might not be able to reach it from down here either. But maybe I'll tighten that up. It might charge a bit better. Is that just an idler? Yeah, that's just an idler. Who knows? Who knows what's going on there? Okay. Okay, all for now. We'll the journey begins, or the journey starts, or this thing here, I can take it off and straighten it out, I hope. Bolt. Yeah, there's a bolt there and one bolt missing. Same thing over there. And bolt, and then that thing there will just come right off. Whoops, pointing the right way. That'll come out right off, and I can make it presentable anyhow. Anyway, there we go. Looks pretty good. I'm pleased with that. I guess I have another red car, hey? Anyway, we'll catch you up as I go along. Yeah, here I'll figure out if there's what's going on with the brakes for starters, or what's not going on. So I've got this power bleeder thing, works on European cars, and even works on Triumph TR7 with that connector on it, which is just a garden hose connector. So that thing there seems to be holding pressure all right. There was empty on fluid here, so I filled it up. Power steering has nothing to do with the brakes on this car because there's no power steering. But I don't know, there's this thing here that must be either an air, yeah, this is air pump, which is disabled right now, and it used to be hooked onto something somewhere, so I'll figure out where that goes and maybe get a replacement one of them because they typically go out, right? I thought maybe it was something to do with the water pump. I don't know where the water pump is on the thing. Is that the water pump here? I don't know. Might be. It's got an electric fan on the rad, so you don't have to worry about that. Well, hopefully you don't have to worry about that. Anyhow, yeah, that's the air pump for the emission control business. We'll see about getting that put back together sometime. And this thing here, yeah, it's holding pressure, not losing pressure anywhere. So I'll put it up and I'll see if I can bleed off one of these brakes and get some fluid to flow in it. See what happens. Yeah, so I'll start with, there's a bleeder valve right there. I'll start with the front brakes. It's a split system, front and back are split. So, you know, when you're doing bleeding brakes, you're supposed to start with the farthest one away, which would be this side over here, I guess. So I'll see if I can get the bleeder open on that. And don't know how these hoses are. They might need replacing. But for first, it looks like an 8mm on there. We'll get one. We'll get your 8mm and just see what I can come up with here. All I want to do is get some air to go through them, right? Where's your 8mm? Yesterday there was 8mm everywhere you look. Here's one. See if we can clear the air out, and then I'll see about what's going on. I guess it's a 7mm, which I saw over here. That's what you guys need to do, is go back and forth to the toolbox here, right? There's a 7. Right there. Try that. Yeah. Yeah, that turns anyhow. That's a good sign. Oh, and there's fluid coming right away on that one. So that's okay. I bet you it's the master cylinder then. Let's see what happens here. Oops. That one there is not turning because it's stripped. Or a smaller wrench. Maybe a quarter? Try a quarter on it. There's a quarter right here. No, quarter definitely doesn't fit on there. It's going to be metric adjustable or vice grips. I'll see if I have a 5-sided or a 6-sided or 8-sided, whatever it is. Little, this is umpteen sided A, and it's ITC, somewhere made in China. I'll find a wrench, see if I can get that open up. Yeah, so that fluid came out of there right away. It's all pretty yucky, dirty fluid, so, but I have to get enough new fluid to change it. I only have a little bit of fluid on hand. So, where's my other wrench? Back to this one for the back wheels and see what happens. I had to use a deep socket, 7mm on that. This might take a deep socket, 7mm on here too, but let's see what happens. I think that turned. Yeah, that turned. Nothing coming there. Come on. Can't get it off of there. Come on. There. Nothing there coming. Now that could be a blocked pipe, or could be just about anything. I'll try the other side and see if any action over there. Okay, nothing comes out of that side. this side here. See if anything comes out of here. Oh, that one's got fluid coming out right away. So the other side must have a blocked rubber pipe. Right here. These things here, they will block. But I think I can get new. I'll get new right there. I'll get new ones of them and see if that'll make it go. And get a kit for the master cylinder, or a new master cylinder. Must be the master cylinder, because this stuff here, everything is working here. But you know, I'll get wheel kits. I'll take the wheels off and see what's happening there. Looks like there's a pipe coming back from way up there for each side. But then there's a splitter here. What's that? Is that a return pipe or something? I don't. Who knows, eh? I guess I'll have to find out. Well, there's the splitter goes up to the front here. Now that's odd. So each side gets its own brakes? That'd be odd. I don't know. Do you? Anyway, so there's fluid coming out of there, there's fluid coming out of there, there's fluid coming out of that wheel over here, but nothing coming out of the that wheel there. So, what's that? That's all. That tells me that the brakes aren't working because the master cylinder is fooey. So I guess we need a new master cylinder or a rebuild kit. I'll just check into it. Yeah, there we go. It's far from perfect, but it's a long, long way from being a rust bucket, so that's good news there. Anyway, now it's got a bit of brake pedal there now, but I think it needs new rubber hoses front and back in between everywhere you look. And I'll take the book in with me and do some reading on it, see what I can come up with for what I need for starters. And I think wheel bearings, front wheel bearings would likely be a good idea. Rear wheel bearings, did I notice some play in them? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, they all have to come off, and then I'll take it apart first and see what I need for brakes and stuff like that, because I'm pretty sure brake pads need replacing, and hopefully the discs are okay, but doesn't matter. Whatever it takes. So tomorrow I'll start working on it for real. I'll start working on it tomorrow. Taking things apart and getting it sorted out a little bit. The front seats over there, like I bet you I can go get a couple of more seats out of a Jetta and stick them in here and they'd work just fine. Same as what I have in the Volkswagen van. Anyway, for now I'll just carry on, and the dashboard is sorely in need of help there, which I think I can take that off and refinish to get it figured out right. But here's the book. I'll take the book in with me and do some reading. That's my homework, right? Homework for the day. And then we'll carry on from there. So there you go. That's all for this one around. I'll send this out so you have a little bit of an update. Then maybe by the end of the week I'll have another one for you so that you can see if I'm making any progress. Maybe there's other projects coming. I think that blue thing out there, the truck for that's coming. I got rid of that trailer. I don't know if you even noticed I didn't do any filming on it. Did some work on a trailer and other things. So anyhow, as it goes, we'll get it done. Like, subscribe, do whatever you like or dislike, I don't mind, and subscribe, and please enjoy it. See you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah, so it's September 10th already. The year goes by pretty quick. I got a stick is tucked in my toe. Let's try saying that fast 5 times. Anyway, the nice sunny day today, and water's calm, not much breeze. And there's a couple of boats out here already. What they call rafted up. There you go. The doggy's wondering what's going on, hey?